and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Last night in Houston, the lights were shining bright, and none brighter than Dallas Keuchel, who mowed down the Yankees. A shutout from the ace lefty. But the good news for the Yankees, they have a couple of their own lefties back in the lineup today. The big bat of Brian McCann and the red-hot stick of Brett Gardner. It's time for New York Yankees baseball. Tonight, it's the Yankees against the Astros in the second game of a four-game set from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside John Flaherty. Happy to be with you on this Friday night here on Yes. We saw an unbelievable pitching performance from Dallas Keuchel last night. We'll take a look at tonight's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by People's United Bank NA. See what Know How can do for you. Nathan Eovaldi, 6-2, a 4.95 ERA, coming off a very good outing his last time out. Vincent Velasquez gets the start for the Astros. The rookie is a right-hander. That means Brett Gardner certainly back in the lineup for the Yankees, John.
Well, that's good news for the Yankees. He had the night off last night, but he had an incredible homestand in New York. And when you think back to that homestand, the first game he struggled. He got a hit late, and after that he was on fire, red hot. 4 home runs in the series. When you watch some of these highlights, you can see he's really using his hands, spraying the ball all over the field. Brett Gardner had one of those homestands. You hope you can take that same feeling out on the road with you.
His homestand was absolutely ridiculous. All kinds of damage. Hit 472, 4 homers, 10 RBIs, 8 extra base hits, 12 runs scored, and he raised his batting average 30 points up to 292. Now, last night, we spent a lot of time in the open talking about some of the newer talented players for the Astros. But it was one of the established talents, Jose Altuve, who really shined brightest.
Yeah, Jose Altuve had a great night last night against the New York Yankees, and maybe thinking I'm getting overshadowed a little bit by some of these young players that are coming up that are awfully talented. Well, we saw Altuve last night do it all. Couple of doubles, is able to beat out an infield single. He has 20 stolen bases. That leads the American League. But he's the guy at the top of that lineup, in the middle of that lineup, that drives in runs, is kind of that spark plug for this offense. He gets on, he's always a threat to run. He had a big night against the Yankees last night.
Altuve, signed by the Astros back in 07, a 2-time All-Star, last year's American League batting champ, and the shortest active player in Major League Baseball, listed at 5'6". Dallas Keuchel's performance absolutely brilliant last night. Our Meredith Marakovitz will detail what the bearded lefty did against the Bombers next here on Yes.
coming from the concourse right here at Minute Maid Park. The Yankees will try to bounce back this evening after losing to Dallas Keuchel and the Astros last night. Unbelievable pitching performance for Keuchel. In fact, I think Alex Rodriguez said it best. He just dominated Yankees bats. If you look at his numbers, 12 strikeouts, complete game after the game. Joe Girardi, as well as Yankees players, tipped their cap to Keuchel.
Didn't leave any pitches over the middle of the plate. Really had his command today, and tough to hit.
Well, he's staying down in the zone. He's using the corners. He's using the zone. You know, he attacks. He's ahead all night. He wasn't behind in too many counts at all tonight. You know, we got a few hits, but we never put any together. We hit a couple balls really hard foul. He just pitched well.
He's a good pitcher. You know, he did great tonight.
The Yankees will try their luck against Velasquez this evening. They'll have to do it, though, without Alex Rodriguez, who has the evening off. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. Ryan Rucco and John Flaherty coming your way next with lineups. First pitch baseball right here on Yes.
TriStateBuick.com. By RE/MAX. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. By Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. When it comes to fighting cancer, precision is everything. Call 844-2-RADIATION-DOC. And by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Gorgeous look at Minute Maid Park, a Friday evening in Houston. Getting ready for the second game of this four-game set between the Yankees and the Astros. Everybody has their cowboy hats out and ready to go. And John, the Yankees looking to bounce back after a performance last night from Dallas Keuchel that, when you listen to the Yankees hitters talk, seemed like they felt was probably the best one they saw this year.
Yeah, and it's unusual, Ryan, to hear hitters say that. And, you know, usually it's I got myself out. Last night, they all felt like Dallas Keuchel had one of those games, and it was dominant, that he really took it to the New York Yankees. You go back to the hotel, you get it out of your system, and you look forward to tonight's game. A young right-hander going against him tonight.
It'll be Vincent Velasquez. The Yankees playing the second game of 7 straight on the road before they will finally have an off day. As the Astros take the field, we'll take a look at tonight's Yankees starting lineup, presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner back in there for the Yankees after a day off yesterday. Red hot. Lifted his average 30 points in the homestand. He leads off. Chase Headley batting second. Mark Teixeira hits in the 3 spot. Brian McCann will do the cleanup hitting. No Alex Rodriguez in the lineup tonight, so Carlos Beltran will DH. Garrett Jones gets the start at right field, batting 6th. Chris Young hits really well here in Houston. Bats 7th. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop, will bat 8th. And Stephen True slides over to second base, and he bats 9th.
Oh, manager Joe Girardi sending that lineup against a right-hander the Yankees have never seen before, Vince Velasquez. Look at his numbers on the year. This will be his 4th start. The ERA hovering just above 4. Well, look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. This will be his 4th start, looking for his first big league win. Best way to describe him, he's strong, he's got a big fastball, and he's wild. He's only gone 5 innings his first outing. Every other outing after that has been below 5. And he does a terrible job with leadoff hitters. 8 of the 14 that he has faced has reached base, 2 getting hits, and the others were walked.
Velasquez making the jump all the way from Double-A to the majors as we take a look at the Astros defense presented by Geico. Same outfield, Preston Tucker, Colby Rasmus, and George Springer. In the infield, it's Luis Valbuena, the rookie Carlos Correa on the left side, Jose Altuve, and Chris Carter back at first base, and the backup catcher Hank Conger will catch Velasquez. So Brett Gardner digs in after his day off. Yankee lefties back in the lineup. Yesterday, Brian McCann, Brett Gardner, both getting days off. Garrett Jones as well. And Didi Gregorius. But they're all in there today as Velasquez deals strike 1.
Well, we'll see what kind of start Velasquez gets off to tonight. Keuchel last night was pounding the strike zone early with plenty of movement. Velasquez, it's more fastball, slider, changeup.
High with a fastball.
He can run it up there pretty good, anywhere from 95, 96 miles an hour. But the one thing about him is pitch counts have been elevated early in his 3 big league starts. We'll see if the Yankees are patient. Try to do more of the same tonight.
He's been averaging more than 21 pitches a start as Gardner flies that into center. Easy for Rasmus. 1 away. Take a look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. This is what it is outside. 90 degrees, the 9-mile-an-hour wind, 57% humidity, some thunderstorms, but inside, John, is just lovely in here. 73 degrees.
It's like San Diego, 73 and sunny, very comfortable.
It's a good-looking ballpark, too.
I said this last night. I'd loving the windows out in left field, left center field, where you can see out to the city and there's a little daylight in here.
There's Chase Headley. Takes outside and high. Well, because sometimes when you're in an indoor stadium, you sort of, I would say claustrophobic, but you can feel dreary without that open lights from somewhere.
Well, you think about Tropicana Field in St. Pete. You know, you don't know what time it is in there. There's no windows, and
yep,
at least here inside the dome, you get a feel of the sun setting outside. And beautiful ballpark.
Chase Headley 0 for 4, struck out 3 times yesterday against Keuchel. And Headley looks at ball 3 as Velasquez stays true to the scouting report John gave you. Having trouble with his control since being called up, skipped right over AAA. The 3-0 is in there for a strike.
You got to be fair to the young kid, though. Kerwin Danley behind the plate. I mean, he threw 3 fastballs, did not miss by much, but didn't get the benefit of the doubt on the calls. He was able to pump a fastball in there in a 3-0 count.
Here's a 3-1. High and away, and Headley is on. Well, Vince Velasquez, taken in the 2nd round back in 2010. Before the season, rated by MLB.com as the 86th best prospect in all of baseball, but the 4th in the Houston organization, and just dominated Double-A in the 5 starts he had. An ERA of 1.37, gave up just 15 hits in over 26 innings, and got the call up.
You know, that's the good news. The bad news is when you skip over AAA AAA is where you have your established veteran minor leaguers and the guys who are also coming back from the big leagues. And it's a big jump, and then you come up, you skip that step, you come to the big leagues, and control's an issue. You wonder if confidence takes a little hit.
Big swing from Teixeira, 0-2.
That's a pitch the Yankees are going to see early on, and they're going to have to say we have to lay off the high fastball. It's 94, but it's got a little hop through the zone. We'll throw a slider, and the changeup probably his second best pitch.
The 0-2. When you talk to people about his fastball, they say it's the kind of fastball that can bore in on you. Some late sink even, a lot of life.
Yeah, I think life is the perfect word. When as a hitter, it gets up on you a little bit quicker than you expect.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. Teixeira down on strikes.
Well, if you're a Houston Astro fan, this is what you love. The fastball we were talking about with a little bit of life going right at the number 3 hitter for the Yankees tonight, throwing it right by him. We have not seen an off-speed pitch yet. Velasquez trying to establish his fastball.
Here's Brian McCann back in the lineup after back-to-back days off. Joe Girardi thinking perhaps the back-to-back specifically for a catcher could serve some good for McCann as well. It was an easy decision with the lefty Keuchel on the mound yesterday. There is Dallas Keuchel in his bearded glory.
Well, I was just thinking what a great feeling it is to sit in the dugout after you dominate for 9 innings last night, but he's been pretty much doing that all year long.
You saw him before the game win the American League Pitcher of the Month for May. He also won the American League Pitcher of the Month for April. And last night, a career high 12 strikeouts. And you pointed it out a lot, John. He looked so easy and effortless throughout the evening. The 0-1 is high.
Well, manager A.J. Hinch had his #1 guy go last night. He threw 9 innings. You give your bullpen a night off when you have a youngster coming back the next day who hasn't really gone deep into ball games. So the bullpen will probably be a major factor in this game at some point.
Blocked by Conger. Scurried away a little bit. 2-1. That was significant too for the Astros because they played a 13-inning game on Wednesday and used the vast majority of that bullpen, some of them for a bit of length, but when you get a complete game shutout, everybody gets rested real quick.
Well, you hear managers all the time say they'll use their bullpen differently the day before and after the #1 guy throws.
McCann hammers that one deep to right. Springer will get under it on the track for the final out of the inning. McCann gave it a ride, just came up short. The Texas native Nathan Eovaldi takes them out next. Second, the impressive rookie hitting .284. Jose Altuve coming off a 3-hit game will bat third. Luis Valbuena in the cleanup spot. Evan Gattis had a big night last night, bats 5th. Colby Rasmus hit 6th. Chris Carter, a lot of power, a lot of strikeouts, back in the lineup hitting 7th. Preston Tucker bats 8th, and Hank Conger rounds out the Astros starting lineup.
A very powerful lineup for the Astros, and they're going to face Nathan Eovaldi finishing up his warm-up pitches. We'll look at his numbers on the year. 15 starts, 6-2, the ERA just under 5. Look at our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Did a nice job his last time out with a rebound start. The time before, only 2/3 of an inning against Miami. Last time, 6 innings against Detroit. Picked up the win. He's done a nice job against winning teams. 9 starts against winning teams, and he's 5-1 in those games. And pitching back home in his state of Texas. He's from Alvin, Texas. Has never pitched a professional inning in the state of Texas until tonight.
And you see a lot of family and friends of Nathan Eovaldi right there in the Yankee shirts. He has a big group of people here to watch him pitch tonight as he delivers outside to George Springer, ball 1. And that's another important audience member, Nolan Ryan, an executive consultant to the Astros and also from Alvin, Texas.
Ryan, how do you think that feels when you're taking your warm-up pitches and he's sitting right behind home plate, watching every pitch that you throw? And that's your idol.
It would be like if Vin Scully is right behind me as I call a game, or Michael Kay. How about that?
Don't admit that. Yeah, Scully was a lot better.
Whoa! Shots fired in the bottom of the first. Inside and high with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. But in all seriousness, I mean, that has got to be distracting looking at Nolan Ryan right behind home plate.
Yeah, knowing that he's here, you were thinking maybe he'd be sitting next to the Astro dugout, but he's right behind the plate.
Big swing and a miss from Springer, 99 miles an hour.
He has to like that. 99-mile-an-hour fastball in pretty good view.
Yeah, he's going to have an excellent view all evening. Springer 0 for his last 13 after he had a 14-game hitting streak, during which he had 458. Flicks this one into center. Gardner started in, drifts back, 1 away.
Ryan, I mentioned that 2/3 of an inning against Miami, the team that he was traded from, and you wondered maybe if he was amped up for that game, overthrowing, and it didn't go well. And I guess you would be concerned about that here in Texas. Nolan Ryan, all your family and friends, but got that first out of the way.
Well, Joe Girardi was asked about that, and he said, yeah, it is something he's going to look for, because he thought it might have played a factor in Miami in that start. And obviously there are some of those same elements at play.
Sure.
And Joe was saying it's not exclusive to Eovaldi. This is any player when they're playing in front of their family and friends.
I hated playing in New York as a visiting player.
Yeah?
Well, all the tickets, you got to leave 20, 25 tickets, and you feel that added sense. It's pressure. They're expecting you to go out there and hoping you have a good game.
Correa slices that one into the crowd. You hear that so often from players who go home after free agency or they get traded home, and almost universally they talk about the added responsibilities of being home, because people come out of the woodwork constantly asking them for favors, tickets, whatever it might be. Good fastball there from Eovaldi on the inside corner. Now, I know you like this stuff, John. So Nathan Eovaldi's average fastball velocity, according to Fangraphs, #1 in Major League Baseball, 95.8 miles an hour on the 4-seamer. And his 2-seamer averages 97 miles an hour.
Now that's impressive. Do you have exit velocity? Because that's what I was excited about.
You wanted the exit velocity? I'm sure we can track that down.
The problem with Eovaldi is not velocity. It's hiding the baseball a little bit.
Correa rolls it to third. Headley in time. 2 down. Take a look at the Yankees defense, brought to you by Geico. Across the outfield, Chris Young gets the start at left after being in center last night. Brett Gardner and Garrett Jones. In the infield, Chase Edley, Didi Gregorius, Stephen Drew, and Mark Teixeira. And Brian McCann catches Nathan Eovaldi. Those fans excited for Jose Altuve, who had 3 hits, a couple stolen bases last night, scored a couple of runs. looks at ball one.
Again, you're always paying attention to the home plate umpire and him establishing his strike zone early. Irwin Danley, a couple of pitches for both sides that I think are pretty close, should be strikes. Definitely has a hitter's zone early on in this game.
Grounded foul.
I think if you're evaluating all of Eovaldi's pitches early on, you got to be pleased if you're Larry Rothschild. Velocity on the fastball's been there, like you mentioned, Ryan. Split finger, has some good action, throwing it for strikes. Just missing with his slider, so far so good. Back in his home state of Texas.
The 1-1. Popped up. Down the right field line, Garrett Jones in foul territory. And a 1-2-3 bottom of the first for Nathan Eovaldi. Looking good in front of the family and friends early. Toyota Conversation brought to you by Toyota. Toyota is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. The question, can you think of an all-time pair of MLB players with a greater height differential than Dellin Betances and Jose Altuve? Well, Matty Eritz tweeted at us and said John Rauch and Eddie Goodell, 6'11" and 3'7". He played one game, but it still counts. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going. And courtesy of ESPN Deportes' Marley Rivera. She took this photo yesterday, John. I mean, that is stark.
Jose Altuve having a little bit of fun at 5'6". That actually reminds me of you and I during the Open, where I was towering over you.
That's true, you were. Almost made me look like Eddie Goodell. In fact, that's you catching and me hitting. Now, people don't know this about Eddie Goodell, but he had the highest exit velocity of any player of his era. Did you know that, John?
I didn't know that, but I'm enjoying that picture as he squats down a little bit. Just what Eddie needed to be doing to work the strike zone.
Well, I believe Eddie walked.
I can see how that happened.
Here's Carlos Beltran.
Velasquez again missing with that fastball up and away. It's a common theme early on in this game. Beltran showing a little bit of patience, laying off.
Three infielders on the right side. As Beltran drives that one deep into center field, Rasmus racing back. He will make the catch on the track as he starts to climb Towles Hill.
Beltran swinging the bat so much better than he was early on, but he has nothing to show for it here. Is that good sound off the bat? Rasmus turns around, makes a route for it on the warning track just in front of the hill. And Ryan, as he was going after this ball, I was actually thinking there have been some injuries with outfielders going up on that hill, and they're going to get rid of it after this season.
Right.
Rasmus didn't have to deal with it there, caught the ball in the warning track.
And interesting that he would rob Carlos Beltran as he approached that hill, because Beltran patrolled center field just for 3 months here. But I talked to him yesterday about the hill, and he said, you know, you really don't think about it at all because it's so far back there that it's at a distance you don't worry about, so it doesn't get in your head. As Jones pops it into shallow right, Altuve puts it away. But as a Met, Carlos Beltran made an unbelievable catch on that hill.
Laying out for it. It's got to be a weird sensation, right, when you're running full speed and then all of a sudden you feel the incline as you go up the hill. Like I mentioned, of reading a few things about it where some players have been hurt and they want to kind of avoid that in the future.
That's why I wanted to talk to him about it, John, because you think it has to be in your head somewhat, because otherwise you're going to hit that hill and fall if you're not aware of it in some capacity. But this is the final year of it. Is Young. It's a home run and asylum. A mile high. Valbuena puts it away. 5 of the 6 outs for Velasquez. Fly balls. T-Mobile, it's that man you just saw. Nolan Ryan, he did damage in this Astros uniform.
Well, we all know about the power fastball, the big 12-6 curveball, doing it all in the Astrodome.
That was his 5th no-hitter. His 4,000th strikeout. 7 no-hitters in all for Nolan Ryan, whose number is properly retired here. And you take a look at his career resume. 27 seasons he pitched. Won a World Series with the Mets in '69. The most strikeouts of all time, the most no-hitters of all time, and a Hall of Fame inductee in 1999. And he is from Alvin, Texas. Went to the same high school as Nathan Eovaldi, Meredith.
Well, Ryan, Nolan Ryan has long been the pride of Alvin, Texas, but you have to wonder whether or not Nathan Eovaldi on the mound tonight is trying to make Nolan Ryan proud. And he's actually had an eye on Eovaldi since before he was drafted by the Dodgers in 2008. And when he made his major league debut in 2011, Nolan Ryan actually sent him a congratulatory note and a signed baseball just to let him know he was keeping an eye on him and he was watching and paying attention to what another pitcher coming out of Alvin was doing. And since then, he has always followed Nathan Eovaldi. So it's a pretty interesting story, and it has to mean a lot that he's here tonight.
Have they ever met? Have they ever talked?
They were supposed to meet today. Yeah.
Because when you saw him in spring training, they never actually got to speak. But Nathan Eovaldi, as I understand it too, Meredith, when he talks about that town, Alvin, it's basically Nolan Ryanville.
100%, and it's not a very big town, so everybody knows Nolan Ryan, and there aren't a lot of pitchers, obviously, of that caliber that would come out of the town. And the fact that Nathan Eovaldi also throws extremely hard, has had some success on the mound, it's something special. He's compared to him a lot, he's asked about him a lot, and he is certainly willing at all times to answer questions about what he thought of Nolan Ryan as he grew up and what he's meant to him throughout his time in baseball.
Today he gets a chance to try and impress him with a great seat. He'll like that. A 99-mile-an-hour fastball climbing the ladder. That's Nolan's impressed face.
Well, both pitchers off to a good start. Eovaldi elevating the fastball with plenty of velocity. He's got that look that he's focused, he's locked in. It doesn't look like the environment is intimidating him at all with all his family and friends.
Now, I know you were wondering this, John, what the population is in Alvin, Texas. 25,057. Not too big.
Not too big. You know, I never had an opportunity to face Nolan Ryan, and I was penciled in the lineup, a doubleheader in my rookie year against the Texas Rangers. And Nolan Ryan was scheduled to pitch that game. And I was as pumped up as you can be, because I knew I'd end up on that all-time strikeout list at some point, and that would have been fine with me. And then, unfortunately for me, I never got on that list because he got scratched from that start, retired a little bit later, and eventually made his way all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Gaddis smacks that into left center. Young will cut it off, but a base hit for Evan Gaddis, the first base runner for Houston. When you're first coming up, would you look at brand name pitchers and be intimidated by it or excited to face them?
Excited. You know, you want to see how you stack up. And at that point in my career, I had no idea how to hit, was overmatched, intimidated, and it let me know I had a long way to go. But Jack McDowell was like the Cy Young Award winner when I first came up in '92 and '93. So you knew you weren't going to do real well, but you were excited about seeing how you stood.
Jack McDowell, of course, spent time with the Yankees. Rasmus skies that to left. Long run for Young, who will get there for the second out as Gaddis retreats. Eovaldi bounced back very nicely in his last start after getting shelled in that start at Miami, lasting just 2/3 of an inning. Really did a nice job putting that one behind him, pitching well, getting the win. Allowed just 2 runs in his last start in 6 innings, just 3 hits.
Well, we know he's getting plenty of run support, but I think maybe, Ryan, he's starting to figure out how he's going to be successful. You know, we're seeing a lot more breaking balls early on in ball games, not relying as much on the velocity of the fastball. And, you know, we'll see. Still trying to figure out how to be a big-time winner at this level.
You mentioned the run support, John. Nathan Eovaldi receives the second highest run support in baseball. 7.66 runs per 9 innings. Only Drew Hutchison of the Blue Jays receives more. 1-1. Foul back this way.
And Ryan, you mentioned the numbers with his velocity, but he also gives up a ton of hits on his fastball. So I think everybody with the Yankees and the brain trust have figured out, you know what, we have to use that pitch a little bit differently and maybe go more off speed early in games and then try to surprise some hitters late. And you notice that the last outing that you were talking about, where he threw those good 6 innings against Detroit. He's establishing number 1 a little bit more early in this game. Scott has a good fastball, has been thrown it by some people.
A 1-2. Hit in the air to right. Jones coming in. Drew going out, and Jones will make the catch as the 2 converge for the final out. But an impressive 2 innings for Nathan Eovaldi, just escaping some trouble in the outfield thanks to Jones. Masahiro Tanaka takes the hill against the rising stars of the Houston Astros. Complete pregame coverage begins at 3 o'clock. Then we're back with the call of this Saturday showdown only on Yes. See how Masahiro Tanaka bounces back from what was probably the worst start of his career.
Glad you read that promo. A 3 o'clock start. I was going to be here a little bit earlier. I get a few more hours of sleep tomorrow.
There you go.
Appreciate that, Ryan.
Let you explore Houston a little bit more on this Friday night. Take a look at the Audi A3 scoreboard. One hit for the Astros, no runs for either club thus far. Gregorius flies it to center. Rasmus puts it away. 1 out.
Well, the Yankees must be saying, you know what, this isn't the pitcher that we heard about in the scouting report. Velasquez struggling with high pitch counts. Only lasted 3 1/3 his last outing against Seattle. Walked 4 in that game. 26 pitches with 1 out in the third. Attacking early.
Yankees with 10 flyouts, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out. Between both teams, that's what you have thus far. So a lot of balls hit in the air between Velasquez and Eovaldi. The 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Just thinking what difference it is from last night. You face Keuchel, who doesn't overpower you with velocity. It's all movement, cut, sink, throwing a lot of strikes, and then you face a young right-hander up from Double-A and just kind of letting it go. Not so much about location and movement. It's all about power.
94 up and away, 2-1. Yankees have struggled on the road lately. Started the year 12-5 in their first 17 on the road, but they're just 6-15 since. As Drew loops that to left. On the run is Tucker right near the line. 2 down. Brett Gardner flew out to center, his first at bat.
You look at that 291 batting average and raising his average 30 points on that last homestand.
Yeah.
Incredible when you think the middle to the end of June, you're able to raise your average that much. As a hitter and as a player, you're pretty much settled in that I know I'm going to have to go a couple of weeks, maybe a month of swinging the bat well to raise my average. He did it in a homestand.
Right, he had what usually happens in the second week of April.
Exactly.
According to Elias, his 16 hits, 12 runs, 4 homers, 10 ribbies over a 7-game span. The first Yankee to achieve those numbers since Moose Skowron back in 1956.
You know, we really have to give our colleague Paul O'Neill some credit. I was working the game against Miami, and Brett looked terrible the first game of the homestand. For 3 at-bats, and I think it was his 4th at-bat. He faced the lefty, was able to stay in there and hammer one down the right field line. And Paul said, you know what, that's a good sign for him. And the rest of the homestand speaks for itself after that.
He's become such a good, solid, consistent player. Right now, carrying an even bigger burden with Jacoby Ellsbury out at the top of that order.
I guess there's good news on Ellsbury, right? He should be coming soon.
Sounds like he's going to try and give it a go, 100% running. Is that right, Meredith?
Him run here, and if everything goes well, he could go out on a rehab assignment as early as when the Yankees fly to LA. So this is something that could happen quickly, but Joe Girardi said they wanted to bring him here to Houston first, see him run in person, make sure he's running the bases 100% before they decide to send him out on that rehab.
Are they letting on at all about how many rehab games maybe they're looking at?
Well, Joe Girardi said he didn't think it would be too long. He has been hitting in the cage. He has been taking batting practice, so he's seen some pitching. So you would think maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5. So I would say in between 3 and 5. But they really haven't said. And I think a lot depends on how he feels, how the knee recovers after each outing, and how he's feeling at the plate.
He might be their most talented all-around player. That's a huge player to get back in the lineup consistently, too, John.
You know, you think about the Yankees at this point in the season without Jacoby, and the offense has been one-dimensional. It's swinging for the fences and hitting home runs. And early on, when it was Ellsbury, Gardner, they were creating havoc for opposing pitchers, stealing bases, RBI opportunities for the middle of the lineup.
Gardner wraps that to deep left center. Rasmus looks up. It is off the wall. Gardner will have a double with 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Well, every hitter, when they're going through a hot stretch like Brett Gardner is you want to come to the ballpark every day and have that same feeling, whether it was at Yankee Stadium where you were red hot or on the road here in Houston. Had last night off, and a nice approach there. Ball out over the plate. Not just slapping it the other way, driving it to the gap. Not a huge ballpark here in Houston. 362 there. Brett Gardner will take it, a stand-up double with 2 outs. Pitch was not bad either. Out over the plate.
So now a 2-out RBI opportunity for Chase Headley after the Yankees' first hit of the night. Headley walked his first at bat and looks at ball 1. Strike.
Good sign right there for Houston, dropping that slider in for a strike and a fastball count. First couple of innings, it's really been predominantly the fastball. Now he's starting to go to the off speed a little bit more.
Here's the 1-1 to Headley. Fouled away, 1-2. Chance to give Nathan Eovaldi an early lead here. And score the Yankees' first run of the series after the performance from Keuchel last night. Three infielders on the right side. Correa shading towards the bag to keep Gardner from getting a huge lead. The Astros shift more than any team in baseball, so you will often find 3 infielders on one side of second base. The 2-2. And the count now full.
Sitting up here watching, trying to figure out what the next off-speed pitch is going to be for Velasquez. He struck out Mark Teixeira, his only strikeout of the game, on an elevated fastball. Trying to do the same to Chase Headley. See how he feels on a 3-2 count.
Here's the payoff from Velasquez. Into the Astros dugout. We'll do it again. Velasquez sort of methodical between pitches. Takes his time. Ready to go with another payoff. Breaking ball, and Headley hung in there to foul it away.
Good pitch by the young right-hander. Good job by Chase Headley just fouling it off. 3-2 count for a young kid to be able to throw this for a strike, and it's a little get-me-over breaking ball. After you've seen 94, 95, it's just enough off speed. Heard a lot about the changeup being his second best off-speed pitch. I've not seen one yet.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Headley flies that to left. Velasquez will get out of it as Tucker puts it away. The Yankees strand a runner. Still no score in Houston. The first ever Lexus NX Turbo. Go beyond utility. By People's United Bank NA, putting the power of know-how to work for you. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2015 models. Sun still shining brightly here in Houston on this Friday night. Hope you're enjoying your summer Friday. Ryan Rucco, John Flaherty, Meredith Marakovitz with you at Minute Maid Park. Second game of this 4-game set. Nathan Eovaldi and Vince Velasquez have each allowed 1 hit. No score in the bottom of this 3rd inning. As Preston Tucker leads off. There's another breaking ball strike, John. It does seem like Eovaldi's been able to get that over as we take a look at the Audi A3 scoreboard.
Yeah, I think he's still trying to figure out what's the proper recipe to get wins at this level with his pitch selection. As we all know, when you watch him throw on the side, if you're a scout and you're evaluating, plus fastball, good breaking ball, the split is coming a little bit. But it's how you use those pitches and sequences during a ball game to be successful. I like the big curveball for strike 1. Talked about it last night. This Houston Astros team has a lot of power, 107 home runs, first in the league. They're swinging for the fences. You make good pitches, you'll get strikeouts, you'll get some easy outs. You make mistakes, it'll make you pay.
Tucker whacks that foul down the left field line. Astros lead all of baseball in homers, as John said, and in strikeouts. And they also lead the American League in stolen bases. We saw that on display courtesy of Jose Altuve last night.
Yeah, we were thinking Altuve maybe with that hamstring that's a little tender would be not running as much. Well, he proved us wrong. A couple stolen bases. You watch all of these hitters, and I was able to talk to Alan Zinter, who's one of the hitting instructors here, and he said they encourage the big swing. You know, the leg kick for Tucker, swinging aggressively. They strike out a ton, but they like how aggressive they are. And he said they might need to tweak the situational hitting just a little bit in order to produce a few more runs.
Did Tucker go? He did. Joe West says Tucker went around, and Nathan Eovaldi has a second strikeout.
You take a look from the side on the swing, and he clearly went. I like the pitch selection and the action on that split finger. That ball was thrown hard, had some good dance down in the zone, a good block by McCann.
Valdi looked sharp early.
Off to a good start.
You're talking about the embracing of the philosophy. Grip it and rip it, so to speak, in the way the Astros approach offense. And that's something Hank Conger was talking about the other day. He spent the first 5 years of his career with the Angels, and he said always, growing up playing baseball, you get in a 2-strike count, you're taught protect, put it in play. So that's not what we do here. That's not what we're taught here, and there's certain freedom to that.
You know, the first organization that I felt that with was the Detroit Tigers during the Sparky Anderson time, where they played in a hitter-friendly ballpark. It was a lineup filled with sluggers.
As Conger smashes that to left center and finds the gap. That will roll to the wall. Conger, not blessed with speed, will stop at second. He is a double.
And it was a philosophy in Detroit that is very similar here in Houston. You see a pitch you like, be aggressive and hammer it. The leg kick, good extension out over the plate. And Ryan, what I think it does is it frees up some young hitters. Instead of thinking, I have to hit for a high average. No, you have to drive the ball, and you have 4 opportunities to do it every night. And if it doesn't work out your first at bat, take the same philosophy up there to second. And it's worked out for them so far. They're playing in a ballpark here at Minute Maid that is home run friendly. They're playing to the strengths of the ballpark.
They're 24-14 at Minute Maid. Here's George Springer, flew out to center in the first. He is 0 for his last 14. Conger, the first runner in scoring position tonight for the Astros. The 0-1. Grounded hard, backhanded nicely by Gregorius, and the whip across in time for the second out. Take a look at tonight's Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Alex Rodriguez and Carlos Correa through their first 17 games of their career. For A-Rod, that was all of his 1994. For Correa, that's what he's done prior to tonight. But you hear a lot of people comparing Correa to Alex Rodriguez because of the physical tools, a 5-tool player. Correa, the first overall pick in 2012, takes so much pride in the fact that he was the first ever Puerto Rican taken first overall. Really interesting story. When he was in 3rd grade, he knew he wanted to eventually not only be a big leaguer, but be a leader in the big leagues. And he told his dad, I need to learn English because I need to be the guy who can be interviewed after games. And so his parents ended up finding a school that was bilingual for him so that he could learn English moving forward better, so that he could be the leader he's already translating into today. And here he comes over the big 2-out hit. Gardner fires home. Here comes Conger. Throw up the line. McCann can't handle. And the Astros strike first.
Well, we saw this last night. Third base coach Gary Pettis is very aggressive. And Conger was not even at third base when Brett Gardner fielded this ball back up the middle. With 2 outs, Pettis waving him all the way around, even when the number 3 hitter Altuve coming up behind him. Correa, slider out over the plate, lines it right back up the middle. And you'll see the timing here. Conger is not even at third base by the time Brett Gardner fields this ball. The throw up the line a little bit. If Brian McCann makes that play with the backhand, Conger is out. Aggressive base running by Gary Pettis, a third base coach.
And it pays off. An RBI single for Correa. Takes second on the throw. And the Astros with a 1-0 lead, and Correa in scoring position for Altuve.
Another look at the throw. Brett Gardner comes up with it in good shape. Just up the line a little bit. Brian McCann goes for the backhand. The only other option, if it's a catcher, you can set yourself up the first baseline when you see the throw is offline and then take your momentum into home plate. McCann tried for the backhand. It didn't work out.
You know, Brett Gardner hasn't made that throw a lot recently either. His arm is usually very accurate, but if you think about it, he, for the most part, has been making throws from left field, not from center. The 1-1. Smash to center, but right at Gardner. And that'll do it. The Astros get a run on the Correa RBI single. They lead 1-0. Let's take a look at tonight's injury report, brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. Byron Buxton, another outstanding young player, and he goes on the DL, placed retroactive to June 25th, sprained his left thumb, expected to miss about a month. Has not hit particularly well since coming up with Minnesota, but another one of these really talented young players. Lincoln scoreboard. Houston, the 1-0 lead.
Well, a talented young player on another surprising team, the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah. Hit a mile high by Teixeira in the infield. Altuve. Now, John, we have put together a 25 and under all MLB club. There's a lot of young talent. That outfield is stacked. That might be your starting outfield regardless of age if you were picking your 3 best in baseball. And plenty of talent on the infield as well.
Can I argue a little bit on some? Where's the Bryant kid from the Cubs?
Chris Bryant? I think Arenado's numbers are better right now. Now, you know where I would have argued, John.
Second base?
Yeah. You know who I would have argued for.
You got to throw the personal relationships out, though. Look at the big picture.
Joe Paddock, Giants second baseman. Jose Altuve mans the second base spot for now. Arenado has 20 home runs. 60 ribbies already, John. He's got to get that over Chris Bryant.
Well, he gets it, but I think if you're looking forward, Chris Bryant already 10 jacks, 42 RBIs, and he didn't start the year in the big leagues.
Yeah, pretty good.
You know, you guys go strictly on numbers. Let's look at the big picture and potential, star quality. He Big does market in Chicago.
Yeah. So you're taking Bryant. That's your guy.
Let's put it this way. If I'm a GM, I'd feel pretty comfortable having him at third base.
Manny Machado might have an argument as well. McCann hits it hard, but stayed down for Correa. 2 outs here in the 4th.
The one thing that I will agree with Salvador Perez behind the plate.
Yeah.
And strictly on the fact I was amazed at how many games he played last year in the regular season and then took it all the way through the playoffs and into the World Series. And with all the age that we live in now where pitch counts, we have to give guys days off. That kid plays every day. Amazing. 140-something games in the regular season.
I didn't realize how young he was last year as he was going through the season. He played 150 games, to your point, John. That is a huge load for a catcher. I mean, 150 in the regular season, and then all that postseason action with how far the Royals went. And he's behind the plate for every single game of that postseason.
Yeah, and when you think about the postseason, that bullpen got all the credit, and rightfully so. But Perez, with what he did leading that staff all the way through the regular season and into the postseason, pretty impressive.
The 1-1. And Perez has already played 65 games this year.
You know what? And I'm going to be Tommy Topper. He went on one of those tours after the year and played more. You know what it's like, those Japanese tours or wherever they go?
Right. They send different Major League All-Stars to different countries. You almost, if you're the Royals, probably wanted to tell him,
yeah, you don't need to go on that.
Yeah, right. You could stay home.
Go as a tourist and enjoy it. Some time off.
The 1-2 from Velasquez. Good breaking ball, and that's nubbed off of Beltran's foot foul. Boy, Velasquez, who really was having a tough time through his first 3 starts. He's shown a little bit of everything thus far tonight. Didn't complete more than 5 innings in any of his first 3 starts. Was averaging more than 21 pitches an inning. But he's looked very much in control.
You know, and you have to say this about young pitchers, especially when they come out of the bullpen and they get on the big league mound and they have it, they're going to have a good game. When they have to go out there and make adjustments, that's usually when you see them struggle a little bit.
Beltran went around, and Velasquez retires the Yankees in order, but he might have hurt himself coming off the mound. He crouched down. It's okay looking back at the mound. He'll take the strikeout as Velasquez walks off a bit gingerly. for the World Series on the line. Coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game begins July 14th at 7 p.m. on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Cincinnati should be a good-looking ballpark for the All-Star Game. Just aesthetically, I like looking at it. You don't feel the same, John?
I think the home run derby there is going to be a joke.
Yeah?
I mean, that's a bandbox. So
yeah.
It's going to be a show. I guess that's what they want, right? They want
for a home run derby.
Impressive home runs.
Lincoln scoreboard. Astros up 1-0 in the bottom of the fourth. You're not looking for warning track power in the home run derby.
Buddy Paul O'Neill's going to be part of the All-Star festivities there in Cincinnati.
Very nice.
Yeah.
He's hitting in the home run derby?
I'm not quite sure what capacity it's going to be.
Ooh, tough hop. Nicely handled. Gregorius throws out Valbuena. Now, Paul could contribute in a variety of ways. He could be the chief cuisine officer of the weekend.
I think it's probably going to be going out there in a red uniform, tipping his cap, saying, thank you very much and enjoy the All-Star festivities.
Okay. The Reds are one of those teams that has the kind of lineage where they can roll out some big-time Hall of Famers, some real luminaries. Here's Evan Gattis.
A good split right there from Eovaldi to get ahead in the count.
The lone blemish thus far for Eovaldi, a 2-out RBI single from Carlos Correa in the third.
You look at Gattis and his approach at the plate. Doesn't wear any batting gloves, a big beard, 45 RBIs already. Did a little catching in Atlanta, but strictly pretty much a DH here in Houston.
Doesn't Gattis look like he is just going to dominate softball leagues when he's done?
You know, I laugh about it, but with all these approaches that you see in leg kicks and all these hitting philosophies, you watch Gattis, it's pretty simple. Grip it, spread out a little bit.
By the way, I think courtesy of Meredith Marakovitz, who doubles as a terrific researcher, we found out what Paul's going to be doing in Cincinnati for the All-Star weekend. He's going to be playing in the celebrity softball game. He'll be there with Andre Dawson, Fred Lynch, Sean Casey. Jenny Finch has agreed to play. I wonder if she's going to pitch against Paul.
Well, the good news is Paul took so much batting practice at Old Timers Day. Good fastball there, 99 miles an hour right on the outside corner.
That he's ready to go?
Yeah, he better be ready to go. Let's put it that way. He took enough BP for the whole season that day.
Eovaldi pitching with a nice rhythm thus far tonight.
I think this is a very pleasant surprise for both pitchers. Velasquez looking to pick up his first big league win. Eovaldi continuing what he did his last time out against the Tigers. Looks strong here in his home state of Texas.
Here is Rasmus looking at strike one, 97. Good crowd on hand tonight at Minute Maid Park. Some Friday night baseball. Pretty jammed. Boy, you could hear the crackle. Colby Rasmus flew out to left in his first at bat. Breaking ball, ripped to right, coming on. Jones slides awkwardly. That is a difficult landing. The catch made, but all the weight coming forward, and it suddenly stopped in the turf as Jones got his cleat caught.
Everybody holding their breath, making sure he's okay. This could have been a lot worse.
Three of the best starts strung together in baseball history, John.
Well, he's always had the stuff, but it seems this year in Washington, like the pitch count's so much better. He's more efficient early in games. How about the Philadelphia Phillies? Show up at the ballpark today. Your manager resigns.
You see the Bigelow T scoreboard. Astros leading 1-0. Yankees with one hit, courtesy of Brett Gardner.
And then you have to go out there and face Scherzer, who's on one of these rolls. Some lean times in Philly.
Garrett Jones, good to just see him up and at the plate after that catch he made awkwardly to end the inning. Let's go back to Bob. A lot of home runs in that family.
Big Daddy Cecil Fielder was at Old Timers Day. Looked good.
You know, you think about it across baseball, a lot of bounce backs from first basemen who had off years last year. Albert Pujols, Prince Fielder, Mark Teixeira. Guys who established what the back of their baseball cards should have you expecting. Joey Votto, another one.
Yeah, the Yankees going to get a look at Pujols when they get out to Anaheim in a few days. I really thought he was at the tail end. You know, would be a good player, but not the Albert Pujols who we remembered from the heyday. Mark Teixeira, injury problems are behind him, having a big year.
Swing and a miss from Young. Chris Young hits good in this ballpark. Entered the game 396 at Minute Maid. You see the three infielders on the left side, and he's from Bel Air High School in Houston, Texas. Now Chuck Knobloch, Jose Cruz Jr. also went to Bel Air High. Pumping out baseball talent. You know who else went there? I believe a former teammate of yours, Bubba Crosby.
My favorite teammates. We were on the B squad together, sitting on the bench.
I'll always remember he had a big walk-off hit at the end of the 2005 season. And the next day, one of the New York papers, I forget which one, had Hubba Bubba as the back page with Bubba Crosby. He played well for you guys down the stretch in 05.
He was a good player. He was one of those guys that was on our bench, you know, and he'd get some spot starts and pinch run and defense, and you're looking at him saying maybe a change of scenery somewhere, he could become an everyday player, and it just never happened for him.
Of course, a lot of people were expecting him to be the everyday center fielder before the Yankees signed Johnny Damon. The 2-2 to Young. Squib foul.
You know, I look out to the Houston Astros bullpen, and you start to see some guys scurrying a little bit. You wonder, you know, what this young right-hander is on top of things, only 65 pitches. But I don't think manager A.J. Hinch is going to go awfully long with him. He hasn't had a big league win yet. The bullpen here in Houston is one of their big-time strengths.
Second in baseball in bullpen ERA.
So if he has a lead at some point after 5, I think manager A.J. Hinch is going to be very careful with how long he goes in this game.
8th pitch of this at bat. Young, good hack. Fouled it straight back.
One of the worst pitches we have seen from the young right-hander tonight. Got underneath the breaking ball. Chris Young had a great pitch to hit. Up in the zone and just fouled it straight back. Things managers and pitching coaches pay attention to. Starting to see some pitches elevated a little bit.
The 2-2. Clobbered but foul. Good at bat here from Chris Young, taking some good swings as we get deeper into this at bat.
And this is what we heard about Velasquez early on, that he had trouble finishing off at bats, and there were a lot of deep counts. I get the feeling right now Chris Young has him sized up. Had a good swing at the slider and a great swing at the fastball.
Here's the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Just missed outside, maybe a little bit up with a fastball, and it's full.
Now the crowd reacting a little bit. It's off the plate and it's probably up. Conger setting up off. Chris Young doesn't even flinch. That tells you how well he is seeing the ball out of his hand.
Here's the payoff to Young. Smash to left. That's a base hit and a good battle won by Chris Young after 11 pitches seen. A single with 1 out in the 5th.
If you're manager A.J. Hinch watching that at bat, you probably say that's okay. It was a base hit to left field. The way Chris Young was swinging, the way he was recognizing pitches, that easily could have been an extra base hit, possibly a home run.
Here is Didi Gregorius. Average at 235 for Didi. Been a little steadier offensively over the last month. Young started and stopped. Gregorius can't find the hole thanks to Carter. The dive, the pick, and the tag of first. 2 down.
Well, Chris Carter did not play last night, but he makes a nice defensive play here. When you think about his game, you think about all the power and all of the strikeouts. Gregorius first pitch swinging. Another look on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Laying out, full extension, could have gotten up and thought about a throw to second base. He takes the easy out at first.
And after an 11-pitch battle by Young, resulted in a single, 1 pitch and an out for Gregorius. Now 2 away. Stephen Drew at the plate.
You're looking for a big 2-out hit from Stephen Drew.
Strike 1.
As much as these Houston Astros shift, and Ryan, you've talked about it, one of the most shifting teams in the league. You look out at the field, I mean, a ground ball to shortstop is a base hit and an RBI. Drew, we know, likes to pull the ball. That's predominantly his swing. Works out and around and looks to hook everything to right field.
If you went up with that being your sole focus, could you get it done? What percentage of the time?
Every day in batting practice, you would work on trying to move the ball to right field, you know, situational hitting. So, I mean, this is just a 3-hopper through the hole here as a base hit and an RBI.
Drew goes that way, but via the air. Preston Tucker catches out number 3, and the Yankees strand Young. Williams' postseason heroics on an all-new Yankeeography, Moments of Glory, featuring interviews and eyewitness accounts from his teammates and coaches. That's Wednesday, July 8th at 11, only on Yes. Nathan Eovaldi back to work. Bottom of the 5th inning. Chris Carter takes a big, chunky swing and fouls it off down the right field line. We need to say congratulations to Nolan Ryan, not for 7 no-hitters or his 4,000 strikeouts, but this is his 48th wedding anniversary, him and his wife, Ruth.
48 years together. Now here's my first thought. Congratulations, first of all.
Yeah, you made it.
We're going to spend our 48th wedding anniversary here at the ballpark watching Nathan Eovaldi from your hometown. Now that's showing me something, Ryan.
Yeah. You think Lynn would spend yours watching someone from Pearl River pitch?
Well, first of all, we're not even discussing 48 years together. Happy we got 18.
Yeah.
And the answer to your question, there is no chance that we would be at a ballpark watching somebody from Pearl River throw a major league game.
Now what if it was a GW graduate who makes the pros? As Carter goes around for out number 1.
It's split by Eovaldi there. You know who would be at the game? Me. And my wife would be someplace else celebrating her anniversary on her own. But I do want to congratulate Shane Kemp from GW. Signed a professional contract today with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he's going to start his journey through the minor leagues and hopefully to the big leagues. And we're starting to see that now all over baseball. Some of the Astros signing players are introducing them out on the field in front of the home crowd, and exciting times for those young kids.
Well, best of luck to Shane. The Bigelow T scoreboard. Astros with a 1-0 lead.
He was probably part of that game that knocked out the Fordham Rams in the Atlantic 10 tournament.
Oh, you had to bring that up, huh?
Probably he was part of that game.
You think so? Tell you what, one former Ram, Nick Martinez, turned into a very nice pitcher in the big leagues. Chop to first. Teixeira will flip it. Eovaldi there. 2 down.
You got to like everything that you're seeing from Eovaldi. We saw the fastball early the first time through. Now we're seeing breaking balls, and more impressively is the split finger and the action down and away. I mean, that's the pitch Larry Rothschild was dreaming about in spring training when he introduced it to him. Here we're almost at the end of June. It looks like a very comfortable pitch for Eovaldi.
I was talking with Larry Rothschild before the game. And I just said, what's the biggest difference? 2 starts ago, where Eovaldi has a really rough outing in Miami versus a very good start last time out. And one of the first things that Larry mentioned is getting the curveball over early and then just the mix. Today we've seen the mix of pitches and a better located fastball. And there's a breaking ball.
Little slider, just drops it in for a strike and a fastball count. Pitch count in great shape.
He's looked ready to go, too. 1-1 down.
Tell you what, Nolan Ryan, the Hall of Famer, has to be sitting behind home plate saying, like what I see right here. Fastball jumping out of his hand. Good mix with the breaking ball.
Representing Alvin, Texas well. 2-2.
Eovaldi's figured it out. You leave a couple of tickets for Nolan Ryan, the Hall of Famer, every start. Whether it's Yankee Stadium or on the road, you fly him around.
Let him sit right behind the plate, and you go to work. Eovaldi has given up just 1 run and now faces his first 3-ball count of the night. The payoff. Went to the breaking ball again.
Isn't it funny, though, Eovaldi, one of those pitchers who gets all the run support in this Yankee rotation. And tonight he's standing out there with 2 outs in the 5th, down by 1. Houston throwing another shutout against the Yankees early on in this one. Kind of hang in there, keep your club in it.
3-2 is fisted. Left side, long run because of the shift, and Headley's not going to get there. Normally, that would be an easy walk over for Headley and foul ground. But with him playing so far over towards second, just too far a run.
Well, obviously, you can see where he's starting out. A long way to go, and he's not going to be able to get there. We had a shot of Headley walking back to the field to play, but I was concentrating on Eovaldi, who's shaking his head a little bit. And he's shaking his head because that should be an out. He made a good pitch. Now you have to go back to work after a little mental, not a breakdown, but you thought you had the last out of the inning. You thought you were going to be in the dugout. Now you have to go back to work and try to finish it out.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Eovaldi down and in. Conger held up. And that's the first walk of the night from Nathan Eovaldi. And that'll turn over the lineup to George Springer.
One of those situations you have to regroup a little bit here if you're Eovaldi. Major pitch, you got to pop up in foul territory. The play was not executed. Now you're right, Ryan. You're back at the top of the lineup where there is some power. George Springer.
Springer 0 for 2. He's 0 for his last 15.
What a cut. And like we were talking about before, he's 0 for his last 15. He's not thinking about shooting one the other way. He's thinking about a 2-run jack to left field.
Catch a breeze up here from some of these swings. There's another. Oh and 2. Eovaldi ahead, looking to complete the 5th.
See what they do here on an 0-2 count. Springer wants to swing at that fastball up, which he just did. Throw it a little higher. See how far he'll extend.
Just off the outside corner. Good location on the 0-2 fastball from Eovaldi.
Wow, he didn't try to elevate. He tried to dot it down and away, and he just missed. Great 0-2 pitch.
Eovaldi peering in. Here's the 1-2. Foul back. Went to the breaking ball.
Well, it's what you worry about as a catcher when he's thrown 3 quality pitches to get to 1 and 2, and then he hangs a breaking ball. Ooh, that's a cement mixer right in the middle of the plate. Springer knows he got a mistake, and he knows he didn't take advantage of it. Wouldn't mind seeing that split finger fastball here. He's had a good one in this inning. So I'm going to elevate a fastball.
Here's the 1-2. Springer held up. 2-2.
You know what you like, Ryan? Every pitch has a purpose. They're elevating, they're going down and away. So one bad pitch in this sequence, and he got away with it. See if he can finish off this at bat.
Maybe we see your splitter now.
Slider. Make sure it's down.
The 2-2. Poke foul, and Springer hanging around. Eovaldi having to work against Conger and Springer after retiring Carter and Tucker quickly in the inning. Pitch count still in pretty good shape, 72.
You see the look of Rothschild, the pitching coach, and Joe Girardi, the manager. This is what's fun. Every pitch is so important in a one-run game.
The 2-2. He got him. Went to your split. When you listen to John Flaherty, you get out of innings. On to the 6th. Yankee Stadium watching the New York Yankees in action. On Saturday, July 4th, the Yankees take on the Rays in a divisional matchup. And the first 18,000 guests, 14 and younger, will receive a Yankees fathead courtesy of Sweet Frog. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Another well-pitched game here in Houston. That kid is fired up about it. That's a big gulp. 1-0 Astros in the top of the 6th. Oh, he's fighting over something with Mom.
That kid's saying, he's saying enough of this. This is the 3rd time around. It's a young right-hander. Velasquez now into the 6th inning. First time he's done that in his young career, but the Yankees getting a 3rd look at him.
And Gardner doubled his last at bat. He's ahead 2-0.
You get the feeling they have to get something going right here. Brett Gardner leading off. Already doubled in this game, ahead in the count, 2-0.
Saw Rasmus, the center fielder, shaded significantly over towards left center. And Gardner peppers one over there. Rasmus drifting to the track for the out.
If you're Brett Gardner and you're coming around first base and you see Rasmus drifting over there, you're hoping that ball might possibly hit the wall. One of the quirky parts about Minute Maid Park. Rasmus cruising over after it, just next to that little section where it jets out.
Bunch of different fun crevices here in Houston at Minute Maid Park. Here's Chase Headley. Finds that shortstop hole and lines a single into left. Misplayed out there, but Rasmus backing up Tucker will get it in.
Nice job by Headley going the other way, and a nice job by Rasmus backing up. Looked like this was just a routine base hit the other way. Tucker had a little bit of trouble with it. Rasmus was right there to back him up. Get the feeling in this game. Yankees shut out last night. We're in the 6th inning. Another 0 is up there. Get something going.
Here's Teixeira. That's rare too, John. The Yankees have not been shut out in back-to-back games since May 12th and 13th of 1999. Their streak of 2,630 games since last being shut out 2 straight, the longest in Major League history. And the next closest isn't even remotely close. It's the Tigers, as far as current streaks go, who've gone 1,196 games since they were last shut out in back-to-back games.
Way too many zeros up there for the New York Yankees, and especially in a ballpark you'd expect to hit some home runs.
Yankees second in the league in homers, Astros first. Neither team has gone yard yet in this series.
Keep watching that bullpen for the Houston Astros. There are some guys moving around, but nobody throwing a baseball yet.
Velasquez at 79 pitches. The 2-1 is way outside. Headley started to move and now will make his way back to first. 3-1.
Wise decision right there by Headley. You have to make sure 100% you would have been able to get to second base. As the ball just scoots away from Conger a little bit. Headley thinks about it. You know, if you have Mark Teixeira up at the plate, a 3-1 count. Good opportunity to do some damage.
The 3-1 chopped right to Carter. Could be 2. Will be 2. Inning over. Carter with the throw to second, and Velasquez receives it back.
basis, and he's looking very impressive early on. And a big reason why, the split finger fastball. Velocity about 90, action straight down in the zone. 3 of his strikeouts have been on the split. A big reason why he's having a nice evening here in Houston.
Eovaldi allowing just 3 hits through his 5 innings. Vince Velasquez has allowed just 3 hits through his 6 shutout innings. Eovaldi back to work in the 6th as Correa very aggressive. We've seen him swing early in the count over and over again.
And you know what, Ryan, when you watch him swing and you see the numbers 1 for 2 and RBI single, a lot of these Houston Astro hitters, they're out of control in their aggressiveness. When he swings hard, but he seems to be balanced and under control when he does it.
His mom and dad taking in the action. Now, we saw how much more effective the splitter has been tonight for Eovaldi, John. Why is that?
Well, I think the split is just one of those pitches that he's worked on since spring training, and I think we're finally seeing a confident Eovaldi with it, saying, you know what, I know where it's going to go. I know it's going to be down in the zone, and I can be aggressive and just let it fly. I think early on, there's that mental question mark. Is this going to be a good one or a bad one?
Broken bat. Headley cuts it off, spins, fires, 1 down.
Throw a split down, and then you come back with a fastball in, and it's enough to get in on the hands of Correa because he has to respect the off speed of the split finger. And this has to be one of the best outings we've seen from Eovaldi to this point. I mean, he is completely under control in what he's trying to do. The pitch count's in great shape, and the pitch sequences you've been talking about, Ryan, have been spot on.
Seems to have a better pace to the way he's working, too. Here's Altuve, strike 1.
Now, if you're the Yankees and you're watching the same thing we are, you got to go out there and get this guy some runs. I mean, you have a young righty who's probably at the tail end of his game, with the bullpen being one of the strengths for the Astros.
Altuve fouls it back. John was ready for it. It won't make him. 0-2.
Again, quickly ahead in the count. 0-2. Split for a strike. Fastball fouled off. If you're Brian McCann, you have so many options behind the plate. You've seen the fastball up be a pitch that they've tried to go to. The split down we've already talked about. Last time in this count he tried to go fastball down and away, and that's what they're going to try to do again.
The 0-2 left it up. You could see tonight, John, this is why the Yankees wanted to acquire this guy.
You're right. Big arm, putting it together tonight.
Altuve dances to stay alive. Altuve 0 for 2. Flew out to right, lined out to center. The 2-strike delivery. Grounded weakly left side. Headley has to hurry. Not in time. Altuve just too fast.
Altuve, obviously a great hitter. He's able to put the bat on the barrel, or the ball on the barrel of the bat consistently. But here, just an infield hit. He's out in front. And when you're out in front on a split finger and you reach, your momentum is coming towards the first baseline. He gets out of the box in great shape, and that's the difference and why he's able to pick up an infield hit. Everything is moving towards first. Pumping the arms. Just another infield hit.
So Altuve reaches with 1 out. Now Altuve always a threat to run. Here's Valbuena.
So always a threat to run. Eovaldi's so good with the running game, and here you see the home runs.
The Honda League leaders, Luis Valbuena trailing only Albert Pujols. John was talking about earlier, the Yankees will see following Houston. Mark Teixeira, 4th on the list.
Good matchup right here. Altuve with his 20 stolen bases leading the American League, and Eovaldi does a great job with the running game.
Hasn't allowed a stolen base in his last 33 starts.
reason why is how quick he is to first base right there. Quick feet, snap throw. I don't know if I would say he's overly quick to home plate with his delivery. He can slide step and do all those things, but his move to first is outstanding for a righty.
Altuve started and stopped. And that's ball 2.
This is one of the things the Houston Astros want you to think about. Altuve on base, Eovaldi paying attention to the running game, and you have a hitter at the plate who's got 19 jacks. He's looking for a pitch to drive here in a 2-0 count. You want to pay attention to Altuve. You have to respect the numbers of Valbuena.
Eovaldi checks on Altuve again. Ever distract you as a hitter when you're at a runner who's dancing off and constant throws to first?
Never. I always appreciated the fact that the base runner was taking the attention away from me at the plate. And that was one of the things as a catcher. You always had to remind your pitcher, I appreciate you paying attention. But the man at the plate is the one who can do some major damage right now with one swing of the bat.
Good off-speed pitch from Eovaldi. 2-1. Another breaking ball and another strike from Nathan Eovaldi.
Valbuena can't believe it. He thought that curveball was up. Clips the top of the zone, and Brian McCann probably deserves a little bit of credit. See if he brings it down to the strike zone. Just lets it travel back towards his chest. You don't reach out there as a catcher with the high breaking ball. You let it travel and hope you get the call, and he did.
Altuve with 20 steals this year, 56 last season. Crowd becoming increasingly annoyed. A 2-2. Count full. Now you would think there's a good chance Altuve will be off.
I think you'll see him running here, and obviously on a 3-2 count. You have to get the greatest jump. You're trusting your hitter at least to take ball 4 or put it in play. Valbuena can swing and miss like a lot of these Houston Astros hitters, but I would expect to see him on the move.
There he goes, fouled away. We'll do it again. Important point of this game. The Yankees trailing 1-0. Unable to muster any offense so far in this series at Minute Maid. And a 3-2 pitch to the cleanup hitter Valbuena. First to check on Altuve.
Part of your ball game right here with Evan Gattis on deck and his 45 RBIs. Leading this club.
Here's the payoff. Altuve runs, and again spoiled by Valbuena. Eovaldi has not allowed a stolen base since June 13th of last season. Starling Marte had that one. A.J. Hinch trying to make sure Jose Altuve still has the wheels to go. There he goes, swinging and missing the throw down. Not in time. A stolen base for Jose Altuve. And the first allowed in 33 starts by Nathan Eovaldi, but he does fan Valbuena.
Joe Girardi saying, wait a minute, we'll have somebody look at it in the clubhouse. Altuve reaching out for second base.
It's very close.
You know, last night, Ryan, we were questioning Altuve and whether that hamstring was 100%. Tonight it looks 100%. Question, did he get that left hand into the bag before the tag was applied by Gregorius? I think he's in there.
Take one more look. Yeah. Left hand in before the tag applied. Gaddis up. Altuve at second, 2 outs. And Eovaldi still paying attention to Altuve. The only run for the Astros coming on a 2-out RBI single by Carlos Correa. Nice pick there from McCann. Houston 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight. Haven't been a lot of base runners for either team reaching second base. Eovaldi's had to work a little bit harder in the 5th and 6th. Two and 0. Breaking ball. Blooped into shallow center field. That will drop. Altuve will score. 2-0 Astros.
Bad luck right there. Gaddis takes a huge swing. He recognized this pitch. He was not thinking about a bloop hit to center field. He was thinking about doing some damage. Take a look at the swing again. Off the end of the bat, and he just gets lucky. Just gets away with one right here. Brett Gardner. Don't know if he took a step back or was a little flat-footed, out of the reach of everybody. Just placed in that perfect spot. Out of the reach of Drew and Gregorius, right in front of Brett Gardner. Tough luck right there for Eovaldi.
Right in the Bermuda Triangle.
Look at that swing. Big swing trying to go deep. Eovaldi backing up.
An infield single from Altuve. A bloop single from Gaddis. And that accounts for the second run here in the 6th. Now Eovaldi will have to maintain focus as Chasen Shreve gets ready in the Yankees bullpen. A good hook from Eovaldi, who has thrown that when behind in the count often tonight.
You're right, Ryan. We've been talking about the split finger a lot, and all of a sudden now the curveball dropping it in there for a strike.
Big swing and a miss. Popping fastball, 1-2.
It's such a tough combination as a hitter when you see a slow 12-6 breaking ball and then the fastball's elevated and it's right by you. This just goes back to the conversation we had earlier. The sequence tonight for Eovaldi and McCann has been fantastic.
The 1-2. Eovaldi trying to work his way through this 6th inning. Pitch count was in very good shape early. 51 through the first 4 innings. He's had to labor a little bit the end of the 5th. now here in the 6th. Good cut from Rasmus. Gaddis on first, 2 outs. Did he go? He did not, says Joe West. Full count.
And he tried to go with that split finger and a look from the side. Held up his swing.
Now we saw Shreve warming. Carter on deck is a righty. Preston Tucker follows him, a left-handed hitter. The payoff. Breaking ball just missed. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Eovaldi. And now runners on first and second with 2 down as Larry Rothschild and Joe Girardi check on Tree.
Again, another close pitch. It's the breaking ball. It's down, and Brian McCann tries to bring it back up. You watch how he has to go down to get it and then tries to steal a strike. Kerwin Danley behind the plate, not buying it.
That is a very close ball 4. Pitch number 100 to Chris Carter. Hit in the air to right. Gardner over in right center will make the catch, and Eovaldi escapes further damage, but the Astros tack on a run. Game starting lineups. You can fill out your 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot now at Yankees.com. Voting is exclusively online and available on your computer, tablet, and smartphone. Vote up to 35 times for your favorite Yankees at Yankees.com. Well, a solid performance tonight from Nathan Eovaldi, who really has looked sharp. 100 pitches. 2 runs allowed, but the Yankees have been unable to muster any offense against Vince Velasquez, who stays out there for the 7th, and why not? He's only had 81 pitches. And strike 1 to McCann.
Well, I actually would argue that, Brian. I mean, you have a young kid who doesn't have a big league start. Will Harris getting loose. Or big league win, I'm sorry. And now he's thrown 6 shutout innings, and I know the pitch count's in great shape. We're in a tight game here, though. Wouldn't you go to your bullpen, which is one of your strengths, instead of the kid makes one mistake? It's either, obviously in this situation wouldn't be a tie game, but I think the leash will not be long. A.J. Hinch looking on. I guess my point is, if A.J. Hinch came to the park today and he said, that kid gives me 6 shutout innings with a lead, I'm pulling it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get in the game and you're like, well, the pitch count's in good shape. Let's let him go. See how it works out.
McCann smoked it, but right at Altuve for the first out. You also want to make sure Velasquez leaves with a good feeling. This is by far his best start.
And that's why I'm a little bit surprised that he jogs out to the mound for the 7th. And you're right, the pitch count is in great shape. That's not an issue. But how about 6 shutout innings? And I'll take my chances with a rested bullpen that's one of the best in baseball.
Carlos Beltran receiving heavy boos tonight. Now, yesterday,
last night,
yesterday there was no reaction to him. Today, he's been receiving a lot of boos. Had that tremendous postseason run in 2004 with the Astros. He homered in 5 straight games. Hit .435 in that postseason with 8 home runs, 14 ribbies, 21 runs scored, and then left as a free agent. As Conger will chat with Velasquez. There's the pennant from the 04 Division Series. Speaking of crazy offensive numbers, Vince Velasquez, as a senior in high school in California, hit .608. As Beltran lines that into left center. A base hit for Carlos Beltran. And now Garrett Jones comes to the plate as the tying run. And will A.J. Hinch make a move? He has the righty Will Harris warming. So you wouldn't think he would bring him in here to face Garrett Jones, but Young on deck is a right-handed hitter. Then you have 3 lefties and a switch hitter and another switch.
You know, Harris has a 0.78 ERA, so obviously he's getting lefties and righties out this year. I am shocked. And one mistake right here could be a tie ball game. Manager A.J. Hinch has been pressing all the right buttons early on this year for this Astros team.
Harris has held lefties to a .074 batting average.
I'm surprised that a move has not been made.
The 0-1. Lined into right. That's a base hit. And the Yankees have put together back-to-back hits here in the 7th as A.J. Hinch is stuck with Vince Velasquez. And now he will make the walk.
He's not made a move yet. Where's the move?
There it is. An outstanding start for the rookie Vince Velasquez in his 4th ever. As A.J. Hinch makes the Verizon call to the bullpen, in comes Will Harris with the Yankees threatening here in the 7th. And that's the biggest change in this team. They have been perpetually poor in the pen, but not this year. Second in ERA, third in strikeouts, first in fewest walks, first in opponent's average. Only the Royals have a better bullpen ERA in the American League. And this is a bullpen that hasn't ranked higher than 26th in bullpen ERA since 2009. As Vince Velasquez gets congratulations, he's responsible for the 2 runners on here in the 7th. The Yankees still looking for their first run of the series.
Best big league start for Velasquez. Now he hands it over to the bullpen, and Harris having quite a year. 34 2/3 innings, only 11 hits against him this year.
And Young watches ball 1 buzz by. Will Harris, with that minuscule ERA, a tiny whip, and more than a strikeout per inning. Picked up off of waivers from the Diamondbacks. Shattered bat goes flying into the Yankee dugout. A big shard making its way inside, and Stevie Donahue grabbing it. There's a slice.
The Yankees have one of their hottest hitters up at the plate, Chris Young. Had a good night last night, couple of hits. Base hit his last time, batting average at .262 now.
He has never faced Harris. 2 on, 1 out. Yanks down 2. Young hammers that deep left. Goodbye, sir. A 3-run homer for Chris Young, and the Yankees take a 3-2 lead.
The right man at the right time for the New York Yankees, and Velasquez sitting in the dugout can't believe it. Chris Young coming back home to Houston, his 9th home run of the year. He's been a red-hot hitter lately for the New York Yankees, and Harris is having an unbelievable season, makes a mistake. Chris Young takes advantage of it.
And the Nathan Eovaldi group of fans love it, because now their family member and friend is in line for a potential win. Gregorius right to Carter.
Take another look at the pitch. Supposed to be away, and it's right down Broadway. Chris Young knew it right away. Hit it on a line. The only question, would it find the seats? And it does, about 8 9 rows deep.
And against a right-handed pitcher and a reliever who had been dominant, and for Chris Young, he does it just outside of where he played high school ball, here in Houston.
Ryan, I just keep thinking back, if you're that young kid and you throw 6 shutout innings, you know, would it be different if Harris came in to start the inning? He doesn't. A couple of men on, and Chris Young, a huge home run.
And the Yankees will keep their streak intact of not getting shut out in back-to-back games. Something that hasn't happened to them since May of 1999. Just an enormous hit there from Chris Young. (3-0) on Drew, as Velasquez's win is spoiled. And John, it was not a second guess, it was a first guess from you. You would have taken Velasquez out after the 6 clean innings. He came out, gave up 2 hits. Will Harris had to come on instead of, with nobody on base, with 2 on, and now that lead the Astros had is gone.
Yeah, you know, obviously you don't know if it would have been different if Harris or another reliever started the inning clean. As a reliever, you know, one pitch with a couple of men on could be the difference in a ball game. Velasquez will feel good about what he did tonight, but he will not leave this building with his first major league win.
The payoff is high, and Drew walks. You know, we talk about how players perform in front of family and friends, John, when they're back home. Well, today, you look at Nathan Eovaldi and Chris Young. Eovaldi from nearby Alvin, Texas, about 30 miles away from Houston. With family and friends here, has given us one of the best starts we've seen from him. Chris Young went to high school, Bel Air High in Houston. He has been the Yankees' best hitter in these 2 games in Houston.
The best hitter just came up with a big hit. The Yankees can relax a little bit now. Been shut out for a game and a half.
Gardner with a double tonight. He's 1 for 3. Yankees with a well-rested bullpen. Only Chris Capuano used out of it yesterday.
Well, we thought early on, Ryan, that this was going to be a battle of the bullpens, and we probably thought the bullpens were going to be more of a factor before the 7th inning. Now Jason Shreve looks like he's ready to go. Tony Sipp cranking it up.
The 1-1. Down 2-1. Now Eovaldi had 100 pitches, really labored in the 6th. There is a lefty, Preston Tucker, due to lead off the 7th. Any chance you're sending him back out there?
Well, you know what, again, I second-guessed A.J. Hinch. I would think Joe Girardi would be thinking with the lefty coming up, Shreve is ready to go. You know what, I'm going to take my chances. Shreve, Wilson, Betances. See if I can get out of here with a win. Again, it goes back to Eovaldi. Could he do any more for you tonight? I mean, he's thrown a great ball game. 100 pitches, pretty much where he usually is. And let your reliever start a clean inning instead of maybe with a runner on. These are the tough decisions that these guys have to make. You know, trying maybe to get an extra out of your starter to take a little pressure off your bullpen.
3-1 to Gardner. Runner goes. Gardner cracks that over the leap of Altuve and into right field. Drew will make his way to 3rd. And the Yankees with runners on the corners. 2 down here in the 7th.
Brett Gardner continuing off his hot homestand. A couple of hits, a double and a base hit. And Harris, who's just had an incredible season. Mentioned only 11 hits given up coming into this game. A home run to Chris Young, and now Brett Gardner a base hit.
And it looks like that will be all for Will Harris. He has been more or less unblemished this season, but knocked around tonight. The Yankees have taken a 3-2 lead and threatening for more here in the 7th. as the skipper recaps the Yankees matchup with these Astros and previews next week's showdown with Mike Trout and the Angels. It's all due Sunday at 6 only on Yes. Joe Girardi asked Alec what he's seen from the Yankees offense in this 7th inning. After going 15 innings without a run in this series, the Yankees have broken through. A single by Beltran with 1 out, a single by Garrett Jones. That chased Vince Velasquez, then a 3-run homer from Chris Young. 2 more base runners aboard off of Will Harris. And Tony Sipp comes in to face Headley.
What you like about those numbers, only 5 walks to 30 strikeouts. Opponents only hitting .214.
So the Yankees with a chance to add some insurance. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Ball 1. The Houston Pen had thrown 17 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings here at home before the 3-run homer allowed by Will Harris.
Obviously, you give Headley a chance to hit here early in the count.
And there is just a huge vacancy on the right side of the infield. The entire right side open with Carter holding on Gardner.
Give Headley an opportunity, whether he just wants to block a ball off the other way. I mean, it's a base hit and RBI, but if he gets behind in the count, possibility of a double steal, trying to steal a run.
A 2-0, and it's 3-0. Mark Teixeira waiting on deck.
Headley looking down at Joe Espada, seeing if he has the green light. Teixeira on deck and a 3-0 count. What a great opportunity for Chase Headley.
Now, Tony Sipp has actually held righties to a lower batting average than lefties. Righties at 208, lefties at 222. The 3-0. Ball 4, bases loaded for Mark Teixeira.
I just mentioned only 5 walks in all the innings, strikeouts 30. He comes in 4 straight to Chase Headley. Now he has to face Mark Teixeira with the bases loaded.
Get a visit from Brent Strom, the pitching coach. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Mark Teixeira, 1 for 4 in his career against Tony Sipp, but that one, a home run. Jason Shreve has been ready for a while to relieve Nathan Eovaldi. Maybe he'll have a bigger cushion. Strike 1. Nine career grand slams for Mark Teixeira. He is the 9th man to bat this inning for the Yankees. The 0-1. Big swing, fouled it right back.
One thing you like about Mark Teixeira in these situations, he knows the pitcher is in trouble. And he hunts a fastball, and he put a great pass on it, just fouled it straight back. And his head initially goes straight down to the dirt, knowing I just had a chance to add to those big numbers with the bases loaded.
The 0-2 from Sipp. Hit in the air to left. Shallow. Racing in is Tucker, out is Correa to make the catch to end the threat. But the Yankees finally break through. He played high school ball here. He goes yard here. Chris Young, a 3-run knock with 2 outs, gives the Yankees a 3-2 lead. By your local Nissan dealer. Been a really entertaining game. Carlos Correa, Evan Gattis, an RBI single apiece. Chris Young, the huge 3-run homer in the 7th to give the Yankees the lead. And Nathan Eovaldi from nearby Alvin, Texas, pitched a gem in front of plenty of family and friends, as well as Nolan Ryan, and he'll hang out in the dugout.
There has to be a lot of positive thoughts going through his head. One swing of the bat by Chris Young gives him a lead as he's sitting in the dugout now, turning it over to the bullpen. Jason Shreve having a very nice year, 1.82 ERA, and he's on a run. Last 12 appearances is not allowed a run. This is really the question mark, Ryan. How do you get the ball to Dellin Betances? Well, Shreve is going to get an opportunity here in the 7th.
They'll first face Preston Tucker. The catcher Hank Conger on deck, then George Springer. Outside, ball 1. Shreve has actually fared better against righties this season than lefties, and he's faced far more righties. Holding righties to a 138 batting average, lefties 222. Been very effective. And a good painted fastball there. Shreve stands on the first base side of the rubber against lefties. He will shift against righties. And he got Tucker to go around too far, 1-2.
You can tell by some of the swings against him, he has great deception by where he sets up on the mound, but he's also got kind of a stiff arm delivery, you know, and he kind of yanks the ball at you from the lefty. It's going to be a tough way to pick the ball up.
There he is on that first base side of the rubber against the lefty Tucker, who stays alive.
Just kind of slings it from a 3/4 arm angle. We've watched him all year out on the mound, and he just seems so under control of his emotions. Doesn't show a lot of emotion out on the mound, and he's had a very solid year.
The 1-2 in the dirt. Still no Andrew Miller for the Yankees, but they have it set up for their current pen with Shreve, Wilson, and Betances, all well rested. He got him.
Good start here in the 7th inning for Shreve, getting the lefty, breaking ball down. This is how the Yankees are set up to win ball games. You hit home runs and you hand it over to your bullpen.
It was thought that Shreve was piece number 2 in the trade with the Braves, with David Carpenter being the number 1 prize. But Carpenter now gone, and Shreve has really been effective for this entire season thus far for the Yankees.
It's always interesting to watch how a bullpen develops coming out of spring training too. Some of the guys that you don't think are going to get the late inning opportunities put themselves in that spot because of how well they throw the ball early on. And you think of Jason Shreve coming from Tampa out of spring training, middle relief guy, would get some opportunities. And all of a sudden he's pitching late games and close games.
Here's the 1-1 from Shreve to Conger. On the outside corner, strike 2.
Joe Girardi has talked about it all the time as Joe Thatcher standing. Looks like he's ready to go. Girardi talks all the time about the lefty Shreve and Wilson. He doesn't worry about those guys left, right, and you mentioned the numbers, Ryan. They're not just left-handed specialists.
The 1-2. He got him looking. Conger down on strikes.
Yeah, you go off speed, off speed, off speed, and then you zip the fastball. It's supposed to be high. It ends up low. Kerwin Danley, the home plate umpire, with the call. He's had a hitter who was sitting off speed the entire at bat. Gets a fastball, gets caught looking.
2 outs on 10 pitches, 2 strikeouts. Here's Springer. Springer 0 for his last 16. And just got out of the way. Looked like he was almost contemplating, am I going to try and sell this?
You know, he walked out of the box like he might have got clipped. Did not get his foot. Maybe a little bit of an acting job right there.
But if you're going to commit, you need to commit fully and own the role.
The man has 12 home runs. I know he's struggling a little bit lately. He's got a chance to tie this game up.
2-0 in a favorable count. Those are the numbers that we were talking about. Shreve has been so good against righties. And obviously very successful against lefties as well. And here, against the righty, you see he's moved to the third base side of the rubber. Sky down the right field line, foul. I talked to Shreve about that in spring training. Just the concept of facing lefties versus righties. And the first thing he brought up was moving from one side of the rubber to the other and how he believes that really helps him.
It's all about angles and creating deception. Also helps a lefty get in on a right-hander with the fastball moving to that side. Usually the toughest thing for a lefty to do.
2-1.
There it is.
Right on cue. Shreve looking to strike out the side. Here's the 2-2. Full count. Carlos Correa is on deck. The rookie shortstop with an RBI single in 3 at-bats tonight. The payoff from Shreve. He got him. Chasen Shreve strikes out the side and protects the 3-2 lead. First it was Tucker swinging, then Conger looking, and finally George Springer takes a seat as well. Brought to you by Verizon Fios, the fastest, most reliable internet. Masahiro Tanaka looking to bounce back from his shaky outing at Yankee Stadium. Will go up against Brett Oberholzer. Coverage beginning at 3 o'clock right here on Yes. Masahiro Tanaka hoping to bounce right back. Was on a good run before that last start, Meredith.
He really was, but if you looked at what he did last time out, he just did not have command of his fastball. His splitter was up in the zone, very uncharacteristic of Masahiro Tanaka. Now, Tanaka said earlier today that he found some mechanical issues during that start that he wanted to work on before this start. Instead of throwing one bullpen, he actually threw 2 bullpens just so he'd have a little bit extra time to work on it. He feels as though he identified the problem, and next time out, he'll be much better. Now, he was asked how tough it is waiting to get back out there on the mound, and he said, you really don't forget about it till you go out there and pitch well next time.
And he's waiting a little bit longer, as is every Yankee starter with a 6-man rotation, but not as long as he waited in his Japanese rotation. As you take a look at the Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees with the 3-2 lead thanks to the 3-run homer by Chris Young in the 7th. Ryan Rucco, John Flaherty, Meredith Morakovitz with you as Joe Thatcher joins the party. Big swing from McCann.
Well, there's a lot going on with Joe Thatcher in his delivery. Kind of leans back, and then he drops down sidearm. Obviously a tough at bat for a lefty, and Brian McCann, lefty's hitting just over 200 against Thatcher.
Thatcher pitching to a 2.25 ERA. Part of that sparkling Astros bullpen. There's the motion, John.
He leans back, and then he drops down. Crossfires against the lefty.
McCann reaches out and flicks it to right, but it hangs up for Spring. Time for the Lowe's Never Stop Improving standings. All the AL East games are now in the books tonight. And the Rays have fallen to the Red Sox. The Yankees looking to gain ground on them. A game behind right now, maybe a half game by the end of the night. Beltran shoots one the other way, foul. Carlos Beltran started the Yankees' 7th inning rally with a single off Vince Velasquez, who had just been rolling through the Yankees up to that point, as Justin Wilson gets ready for the 8th. Beltran continues to swing the bat well, over 300 since May 1st. A couple of hits last night. There weren't many of them for the Yankees. And starting the rally tonight.
Think back to the beginning of the year. Carlos was struggling. Didi Gregorius was struggling. The Yankees showing some patience. And with a guy like Beltran, you look at the back of the baseball card. If he's healthy, you expect the numbers to be there. Gregorius, the Yankees were patient and starting to pay off now.
Got him looking. Beltran down on strikes.
We talked about the delivery, and Thatcher kind of brings it around the outside corner and clips that corner, and Beltran just gets caught looking. Maybe he was sitting on an off-speed pitch. He gets a fastball.
Here's Garrett Jones, who also singled and scored in the 7th. He chased Velasquez. Strike one to Jones. It looked like Eovaldi was in line to be a hard luck loser tonight. And then a 7th inning rally from the Yankees, and instead Velasquez sees his win wiped away. The Yankees up 3-2 here in the 8th. Jones goes the other way, and that's going to drop in front of Preston Tucker. He stopped. Was a little bit leery about where that one was going to land, and it not scooting by him. And he probably had a play on that ball if he had taken one more step.
He definitely had a play. You could tell that he was confused right from the beginning, and he kind of lays back and then tries to make up some ground. There, Jones will take it. A base hit going the other way.
And that'll do it for Thatcher. A.J. Hinch will go to the bullpen again here in the 8th. Young providing the Yankees first and only runs of this series.
Well, Harris coming in having a great year, but Chris Young swinging the bat well. He's hot lately, and a 3-run jack gives the Yankees a lead.
And Young, a .404 hitter now, with the updated numbers from today at Minute Maid Park. His highest batting average at any ballpark. It happens to be the one in his backyard. Here's Roberto Hernandez, formerly known as Fausto Carmona. He's a part of the rotation, has since moved to the bullpen. Try and mollify his struggles. Jones on first, 2 outs. Young shows bunt, pulled it back. 1-0. Chris Young with a couple of hits last night. And the 2 hits tonight. He is 0 for 5 lifetime against Hernandez. Conger blocks it. Jones will hang. 2-0 on Young.
Nice play by Conger, kind of tilting his right shoulder back towards the playing field and steering this ball back in play. Actually does it with his glove.
I think Nolan Ryan will do the wave when it gets to him. Let's see. No. Nope. How many no-hitters do you need to throw to be exempt from the wave?
That man can do whatever he wants in the state of Texas.
That's true. Two and two. Nolan abstains again. That's all right. It's a one-run game. I agree, Nolan. Focus should be on the pitch. Young rips that to left center. Rasmus will cut it off. Jones on to third, and the third hit of the night for Chris Young, who is tearing up the Astros.
Well, it seems when you're swinging the bat well, you're also getting mistakes and pitches to hit, and when you get them, you don't miss. Conger taps it dirty, wants the ball down and away. It ends up middle, and it ends up up. Conger's reaction as a catcher, you can't believe it. Jones all the way to third base. Chris Young having another big night.
So the Yankees looking to add some insurance with first and third. 2 outs. Here's Didi Gregorius, 0 for 3. Fly out, a couple of ground outs. He's grounded out to first on the first pitch each of his last 2 at-bats. This time he looks at strike one.
Didi's been swinging the bat better lately, and he's been driving the ball a little bit more. Huge run there, and Garrett Jones at third base trying to give the Yankees a little breathing room, give the bullpen a little breathing room.
Runner goes. That's lined into left center, but Rasmus drifting will put it away to end the inning. Yankees threaten, don't score. 3-2 onto the bottom of the 8th. Trying to grab the win in Houston as you take a look at the Hyundai scoreboard. And after Chasen Shreve struck out the side in the 7th, the Yankees will turn it over to their current 8th inning man, Justin Wilson.
Just like Shreve, he's been throwing the ball well lately. 12 appearances without giving up a run. 13 walks, a little high in 25 2/3. He's going to have to earn it here in the 8th inning, going through number 2, 3, and 4, Correa, Altuve, and Valbuena.
Carlos Correa with an RBI single in the 3rd. He's also grounded out to third twice. And he looks at strike one. Now Correa grew up idolizing Derek Jeter. And the day he was drafted, said he wanted to be like Derek Jeter because he's awesome. That was his quote. And today is actually Derek's birthday. So a happy birthday to the captain. The 0-2 down, ball one.
I mentioned the run that Justin Wilson has been on lately, and the game plan is pretty simple. Fastball after fastball after fastball, mid to upper 90s. Very aggressive coming out of the pen for the Yankees.
He has been the 8th inning man with Andrew Miller, still shelved. Correa rips that foul, turned on it quickly.
Down and in at 95 miles an hour, and you're right, Ryan, there was no problem getting the bat head to the baseball. Very simple swing, simple approach. We talked about how aggressive he is. Not a lot of movement with the body, uses his hands well, just a little bit too quick.
Barely even followed through on that. The 1-2 into center. Gardner basically in his tracks. One down.
Justin Wilson recognizing how quickly he turned the fastball around. He went to a slider. It's an easy fly ball to center field.
John, what a luxury. You talked about it before. For Joe Girardi to have these two lefties who you feel just as comfortable with facing right-handers.
And Wilson, like I said, it's pretty simple. He's got such a good arm and throws hard for a lefty. I remember a conversation Gary Tuck had with him way back in Tampa Bay on a road trip.
That's fought off. Teixeira makes the play. Over the shoulder, over the head, and into the glove.
What a tough play this is for Mark Teixeira. He makes it look easy. Altuve gets jammed, flips it the other way, and Mark Teixeira turns around back to the field over his head. Makes an outstanding catch. And another look on Yesmo, brought to you by a Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Boy, how much easier has life gotten for Wilson right there. If that ball falls, Altuve's on first, maybe second, in a one-run game with the possibility of stealing. Great play by Teixeira.
And we saw the havoc he wreaked on Nathan Eovaldi in the 6th inning when he reached on an infield single and eventually stole and then came around to score.
Ryan, I want to get back to that conversation Gary Tuck had with Wilson. He was coming off a rough outing, and Justin was walking out to the bullpen, before batting practice, and he wanted to talk to Gary about it. And Gary looked at him and said, "You throw 96 miles an hour, just throw your fastball, you'll be fine." And things have turned around since then, and he has been fine. And sometimes you overthink things. There's Gary Tuck getting ready for Betances to get going, but sometimes you overthink. Well, is my stuff not good? What am I doing wrong? And sometimes you need to hear a simple approach. You throw hard, go out there and let it fly.
2-1. Sometimes it is just about being a little bit more secure with what you have on the mound.
Well, recognize what you do well. I mean, he's not a soft throwing lefty, and his breaking ball isn't his best pitch. So until they prove to you that they can turn your fastball around, which Correa did, then you make an adjustment, you go off speed.
2-2. 95 miles an hour from Wilson, who, like Shreve, has actually held righties to a lower average than lefties. Entering tonight, righties 160, lefties 216. And that number going down after Correa and Altuve both made out from the right side. Here's the 2-2. Wilson trying to turn over a lead to Dellin Betances, who is well rested. The Yankees look to lock down a win at Minute Maid. Valbuena with 19 home runs this season. And now a full count.
You'd expect this to be power against power. Valbuena with his 19 home runs. Wilson with that good fastball I've been talking about. He just threw a slider. You wouldn't expect him to throw it again. 3-2. We'll see.
Valbuena 1 for 3 lifetime off of Wilson. Here's the payoff. Now a good battle from Valbuena. He has struck out twice tonight. Grounded out to short, but had some good long at bats. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Wilson deals low, ball 4. Here comes Gaddis. And here comes Joe Girardi. Not going to chance it. He'll call on his closer, Dellin Betances, to try and get the final out here in the 8th, and then some. With the Yankees holding a 3-2 lead. Bueno walks, and now it's time for Dellin Betances, as Joe Girardi calls on his current closer.
Well, you see the ERA now 1.25, and there's one loss mixed in there. Dellin coming off a rough outing his last time on Tuesday. 4 earned runs in 1 inning. We talk about it all the time with pitchers having to rebound after rough outings. Betances hasn't had to do that too many times.
No.
He's been so dominant. See what he looks like tonight.
John, over the last 2 years, Dellin Betances has allowed multiple runs just twice. 2 runs in 1 appearance last year, and then the 4 runs he was charged with on Tuesday against Philadelphia, in which he suffered his first ever loss. I'm sure he is excited to get back
ready to get back out there.
Evan Gaddis has never faced Dellin Betances, and that's his hook. Runner goes, breaking ball strike, but the base stolen. And now a runner in scoring position as Marwin Gonzalez pinch ran for Valbuena and steals the base. So the tying run on second. Gaddis will call time.
Back-to-back breaking balls to Gaddis. .46 RBIs, so a good run producer for the Houston Astros. We'll see if Betances goes fastball or off speed.
The 0-2, he went off speed and he got it. Inning over. Betances comes on and gets Gaddis. The Yankees take a 1-run lead to the ninth. Game as Bob Lorenz and David Cohn wrap up this matchup back in our Yes Studios. Plus Meredith Marakovitz gets the team's reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame only on Yes. Roberto Hernandez stays in. Yankees looking for a little insurance, leading 3-2 here in the top of the ninth. Driven in the air to left. Tucker. One down. There's some hometown heroes coming through tonight. David Cohn, Bob Lorenz, I'm sure will be all over it on the postgame. Meredith Marakovitz working the clubhouse. Nathan Eovaldi and Chris Young coming through in front of friends and family.
David Cohn talked about in the cut-in, probably the best we've seen Eovaldi tonight, all the way around. Stuff, pitch sequences, good split. These guys will break it down on the post game.
Strike one to Gardner. Brett Gardner with 2 more hits tonight. A day off did not cool him off.
Batting average just under 300, 9 home runs.
Plays good defense. It's a good all-around solid baseball player.
We talked about it last night. Joe Girardi so disciplined with players like Alex Rodriguez tonight, giving him a day off. Brett Gardner last night, and it can't be easy to do. And Brett's been swinging the bat as well as he has. Gave him a night off and back in there tonight, a couple of hits.
2-1. Grounded hard. Backhanded by Altuve. 2 outs. Chase Headley has been on base 3 times tonight. A single, 2 walks. He too had a good homestand. Wasn't as loud as Brett Gardner's. but a successful one. Headley had at least 1 hit and 1 run in all 7 games that he played on the homestand.
You know, and I like him in the number 2 hole, and you know it's not going to last when Jacoby Ellsbury comes back. But he's looked awfully comfortable there, getting some better pitches to hit when you're in the front of the middle of the lineup like Alex Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira and Brian McCann. Very consistent, hasn't kind of gone on one of those tears where he can get the batting average up into the 270s.
And he's behind 1 and 2 with 2 outs here in the ninth. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Headley down on strikes. But Dellin Betances looking to lock down a Yankee win in the bottom of the inning. Away from going home smiling. The Yankees with a 3-2 lead after a very effective 6 innings from Nathan Eovaldi, an outstanding 7th from Chasen Shreve in which he struck out the side, and then Justin Wilson got 2 outs in the 8th before Dellin Betances struck out Evan Gattis to end the inning with Marwin Gonzalez on second. And now Betances due to face Colby Rasmus, Chris Carter, and Preston Tucker. Four breaking balls from Betances since he has entered. All of them have been strikes, John.
Well, we've seen this from Dellin before. When he comes out of the bullpen, you can tell he feels awfully good about his breaking ball. Able to drop it in there for a strike early in counts.
Here's another one, and it's slapped foul.
This lineup for the Houston Astros, you're always worried about that one swing of the bat. That's how they generate their offense, the home run. Dellin has not given up a home run this year. You get a feeling here with Rasmus and Carter on deck. You can make pitches to these guys and get some swings and misses, but if you make that lone mistake, possibility in this ballpark of a tie game.
Breaking ball down, 2-2. Rasmus with 10 homers. Grounded weakly That will stay fair. Slick pickup by Mark Teixeira. Astute play. And there's one down.
Yeah, Mark Teixeira knows Rasmus has plenty of power. And when he rolls one over here, you can see how quickly Mark attacks this ball to make sure he gets it in fair territory. An easy out as long as it doesn't hit and go foul. And he makes sure it doesn't by attacking it up the line, applying the tag. One quick out here in the ninth.
Here is Chris Carter, 12 home runs on the season. He also has already struck out 100 times this year. And that's strike one. That breaking ball is just vicious. You're on guard for 98. You get 84 tilting over the plate. The 0-1. Carter holds up.
Good win for the Yankees, 3-2. You talked about Eovaldi, Ryan having a quality performance, but also more specifically for Betances. Trying to get through this ninth inning, pick up a save after a rough outing his last time.
He was joking today in the clubhouse about the Knicks draft because he was desperately hoping that Jahlil Okafor would drop to 4. Disappointed to see Philadelphia take Okafor before the Knicks pick. Here's the 1-2. Popping fastball high. A 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got it. 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, I thought the fastball before might have been setting up a slider, but he goes back to back and it doesn't even worry about location. Right down the middle and right by Chris Carter.
So 2 strikeouts and a weak ground out to first. And the 3 batters faced by Dellin Betances, and here is Preston Tucker. Strike one with the breaking ball.
And Ryan, I'm thinking all the way back to the scouting report on Nathan Eovaldi. 9 starts against winning ball clubs this year. His record was 5-1. Now a quality outing against Houston. To pick up another win against a winning team.
He is 1 out away from picking up that win in front of family and friends. Made the trek. Chris Young as well, the Houston native, provided the big blow, a 3-run homer in the 7th to give the Yankees the 3-2 lead. Strike 2. And some of the Yankee fans in attendance starting to get loud and on their feet. Looking for one more strike. The 1-2 from Betances. And Tucker held up. 4 home runs this year for Preston Tucker. And on deck, John Singleton, ready to pinch hit for Hank Conger, just called back up today. Here's the 2-2. Ripped. Foul.
Dellin might want to stay away from that fastball middle in. You can throw it, but throw it out over the plate and throw it down. Play to left center field. I think if you're Brian McCann, seeing that last swing, you probably go with the slider again.
Looks like it. As Betances will step off and gather. The 2-2. Hit in the air to shallow center. Out goes Drew with the call and the game. And the Yankees take care of the Astros 3-2 and even up this season.